So in this one, we earned £6,000 fee. Great. I'm going to tell you how we did that because you can do that too. And we earned it in a number of weeks, but it didn't quite go as planned. And you and your investors need to know that these things happen. Right. Deal packaging, the process of finding discounted deals, finding investors who want to buy discounted wholesale BMV, below market value deals, and matching them together, you get paid. Most deal sources undervalue themselves. So deal sources or deal packagers, they charge 2 or 3 grand. You genuinely can't make money on that. You genuinely can't pay the team that you need to go at any kind of pace to be a very consistent, steady, reliable, regular deal packager. If you're making 2 or 3 grand, that's just a tiny little hop. You're going to run out of money because you're going to see how much work it is. And you actually need a bit of a team because if you're out there doing the deals and the investors, someone else needs to be at the back end just making everything go through. So let's talk about this deal. It was our 31st deal. So we started to gain some traction. We started to be like, oh, okay, you're pumping out deals. We're starting to go places, really knowing our stuff, but still being very careful. So how we attract investors, we go to property events, we collect business cards, we'd invite them to our property investor days. We used to run them, we started off once a month and we ended up doing them every 2 weeks. We always told our investors what could go wrong. It's weird, you tell your investors what could go wrong and generally they trust you even more because they can tell that you're telling the truth. And also you need to assess your investors. If you say to an investor, you know what, if you're going to do a buy to sell, I'm not in charge of the market. I can do 45 pieces of research and make an assessment. I think that is worth this, but I'm not the person buying it once you've done it up. So either, with the nicest will in the world, the investor hasn't done a particularly good refurb, or just the market's dropped, or just that the buyer isn't there at that moment. So they have to understand that for buy to sell or any of their properties, there could be, fly in my eye, there could be a difficulty with the sale price, and they've got to have the appetite to take that risk on board. And that is one of the reasons I used to do investor days, because I wanted to tell them all the good stuff, why they would want to work with us, all of that stuff. But I also wanted to assess them and see how they behaved when I was saying, look guys, sometimes, things aren't going as well as they want to. So how would you how would you deliver your own property work when that was happening? And this happened in this case. So we bought it for 120. We used to charge a 5% fee, so we got paid £6,000. How we did that was they signed terms and conditions, they pay £1,000 reservation, and then upon exchange, which is only a few weeks later, we get the balance. Great. Now they then took it on, they then did the renovation. We had assessed it as being worth 160. We'd done 45 pieces of research. We'd been very careful, and what we did is we look at how many deals have been sold in the area, how many are currently on the market trying to be sold, and then we talk to estate agents. So we're looking at history, we're looking at current hopes, because obviously their prices may be valid, they may be too high, and then we're looking at estate agents' opinions who are absolutely close to that marketplace. So we're trying to triangulate the research. And this investor then sold it, but instead of selling it for 160, they sold it 159. So £1,000 less than we'd anticipated the property was worth. Were they annoyed? No. They got they got 39 grand before costs, so they had to pay refurb costs, they had to pay fees and all of that stuff, but they still made a really lovely profit. And they said to me, look, we know property is a risk. We know it's all about being in the marketplace. We are really pleased that we sold it for 159. It was close enough that we're quite happy. So when you're working as a deal packager or when you're working with investors, as much as you're trying your absolute best to get every property perfectly right in terms of your valuation, it is a movable feast. There are changes in the marketplace, buyers' preferences, and just other buyers are there or not, and also maybe your investors refurb. So you're going to do the best you can, but you do have to let your investors know that this is all the research pointing towards it, but they have to do their own due diligence as well. And that was a really great investor relationship. They bought many deals from us. It sold for 1,000 less than we had expected. They were still delighted. 39 grand uplift. So we got 6. They got 39 grand before all costs and fees and refurb. Everybody won. But that's why you've got to have personal relationships with your investors, because They fully understood the game they're playing. You know, if you get in the kitchen, it's occasionally hot. So if that is useful to you, if you're thinking about running a deal packaging business, here's reality, you know, and that is going to help you have much better quality relationships with your investors. Tell them what could go wrong every single time. And then the odd one that does go wrong, that, you know, we talked about this. What are your plans? What are you going to do about it? So if you're interested, hop over to the website, thegoodpropertycompany.co.uk. I've got stacks of fantastic information there for you to download on deal packaging. Tons. I've even got some free stuff as well. Send this to a friend who's looking to get into property and doesn't have enough money. Deal packaging is a fantastic way to go forward, but at least you know what game you're getting into. And good luck. Definitely take action, because property is so worth it. It's totally life-changing. You just, you have some speed bumps sometimes. Good luck. All right. Sourcing discounted deals is how you make serious money in property, but how do you start? Free checklist. Click, link, download now.